Welcome once again to the Dr. Sky Experience, heard exclusively here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. We like to call it the crown jewel of radio, of course, the iconic 77 Talk Radio, WABC, beaming out of New York City, the nation, the world, and I'm sure the cosmos. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Sky, on the unique program, the Dr. Sky Experience, with great information, as always, from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather, and information and updates on American exceptionalism. And we begin now with our first report for month number 6, June 2024. And as we look to the summer skies with vacation season right around the corner, already here, with the passing of Memorial Day, the unofficial date of summer, we welcome you to hopefully clear skies and some exciting things to see. But let's begin our sky tour. We begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the Moon. The Moon reaches its new phase on the 6th. That again continues on as the Moon waxes. Look for the Moon as a thin sliver of moonlight by the evening of the 7th, low into the west-northwest. The Moon races on to first quarter on the 14th, and the big event for those who love the Moon is the beautiful full strawberry moon that will happen on the evening hours of June the 22nd. At exactly 9:08 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, all eyes to the skies as we see this magnificent moon, the one, of course, known as the full strawberry moon, and in some circles, among other names, the full honeymoon, due to many traditional weddings that occurred or still do during the month of June. The moon then wanes, less moonlight, meaning rises later and earlier into the morning, and that particular time we find for last quarter on June the 28th. Just in case you're curious, the moon is farthest from the Earth at a position called apogee. That occurs on the 14th. That's really not that discernible to the naked eye, but I assure you, when the moon is closest to us at perigee, you'll know the difference. That happens on June the 2nd, and we squeeze in another perigee moon on the 27th of the month. But let's not forget, a major seasonal change to take place, and that, of course, occurs every year. This one, of course, the well-awaited and long-awaited summer solstice. That, for all of us, will occur as we move through time and space on the 20th of June at 4:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, when, yes, you got it right, the sun, the length of the days are the longest, at least around that time, not exactly on the 20th, but the sun moves to its highest position on the equatorial area above that equator, I should say, called the ecliptic, by some 23 degrees, 44 minutes of arc. What does that mean? It means that you get the latest of sunsets and the earliest of sunrises. The Greek word planeteos is for wandering stars, and let's talk about some of the planets that you can see. You may have heard by now in the mainstream and legacy media that there's an amazing planetary parade that's going to happen on the morning of June the 3rd. But me, Dr. Sky, always gives you the truth in all kinds of reports. So here we go. Is there really a planetary parade on June the 3rd? You could call it that. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will all be within a big swath of the sky. But the truth of the matter is, unless you have exceptionally clear skies and get up really early, which I encourage you to do, looking into the northeast, you may get a glimpse of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But the two objects, Uranus and Neptune, are hardly visible at all because you'll need a powerful telescope, at least at this time of year, to see them. Why do we call it a planetary parade? Because it's an interesting event for many, and it's a beautiful sight in the sky if you have the darkest of skies, and city dwellers may not necessarily get to see that much of it, but still, it happens on the calendar. If you'd like to get in touch with me, it's simply drskyshow@gmail.com, and we're always appreciative of the radio station here, Talk Radio 77 WABC, and proud to be with owner and operator John Katsimatidis every Sunday on the Cats Roundtable, Sunday mornings, and then every other Wednesday morning, as we're proud to announce here, on the other side of midnight with legendary broadcaster Frank Morano, as we then, and with his permission, change the name of the radio show to Cosmic Conversations with me, Dr. Sky. Tune in, call in, and ask your questions, because we're more than happy to talk about these great realms, as we mentioned before, astronomy, space, aviation, and weather. But how about something for everybody who's on vacation? If you're getting away from city lights, here's a Dr. Sky treat, and it happens every year. My suggestion is if you're out into the country or away from city lights, have a pair of binoculars in hand, because between the period of June the 6th to about the 12th, That is when the moon sets. Of course, it's not going to interfere with your late night viewing. Take a look into the southern part of the sky by around 10 or even 11 p.m. Why do I mention that? The magnificence of the summer Milky Way, that's right, will be right there in front of your eyes. And I know people have talked to me about this a long time and say, hey, Dr. Sky, how do you get to see the Milky Way from most parts of the listening audience? Well, naturally, dark skies will always help. City dwellers may have a little difficulty finding this, of course, but this is particularly out there for those that are traveling. Have those binoculars, and what you'll be looking at low into the southern sky is the beautiful constellation of Scorpius the Scorpion. And to the left of it, a big teapot-shaped constellation, which is not a teapot, but it looks like one, is Sagittarius the Archer. Right in that area between Scorpius and Sagittarius is the core of the Milky Way galaxy. We are 27,000 light years away from the core. And that's quite amazing because, let me say this, a picture, as you know, is better than what? Thousands of words? But in my opinion, if you're out on vacation and you look to the southern sky, with those binoculars in hand, share that experience with friends and neighbors because did you know that maybe 1 out of 200 people, let's say on the Earth, have ever had a glimpse of the big galactic arm that we live in, our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy? Dr. Sky always reminds you what? Always remember to keep your eyes to the skies. Simply, I'm your navigator on the highway to the heavens, where at least now there's no tolls on this highway, so what are we saying seriously? Enjoy the wonders of our vast universe. And by the way, if you're visiting Arizona, some food friends of ours, we always like to remind people of 2 great places if you're traveling to here in Phoenix. One of them is Yao's Chinese restaurant located in Gilbert, Arizona, award-winning Chinese cuisine, and good friends of ours at, get a load of this, New York Best of the West Pizza. How about that? So if you're traveling from the New York metro area or the East Coast, where pizza and the pizza experts are there, many of them are out there with great food, why not try Raphael's Pizza, New York Best of the West, 2 locations in the Phoenix area. And I'm sure you won't be disappointed. So bring a little of the East with you when you come to those locations. Dr. Sky once again reminds you to always what? Keep your eyes to the skies. Hope you have a safe, healthy, and happy June. And we'll be talking more about late-breaking news, in particular with the massive sunspot that was active region 3664, which has now returned to the front edge of the sun and may be raining more havoc in solar flares and coronal mass ejections, hopefully giving us another chance to see on the beautiful side the beauty of the aurora borealis. But on the darker side, hopefully it doesn't interfere with our electromagnetics, our, of course, digital equipment, and our power grid. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.